Everybody. What's up? Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Dun, 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 dun. See, we got channel members Logan, Will, Ivan, Rex, David. Hey, David, did you see that thing I posted in Discord about SpaceX last week? Anyway, didn't know if you saw it. I tagged you, but I didn't know if you saw it. Dawn, Jason, Frank, Sergio, Darren, Donald, Svenborn. Good to see everybody. Lieutenant Colonel Goose, Ed, Gary, Dan, Ted, Be Like Water, Roland, Joseph, and my other followers, subscribers, like Laura, Dennis, Valerie, Rosalind, Tara, Bradman, Daniel, Mary, Jan, S. Kohler, Al, Marianne, Francois, Craig. Good to see everybody. Dennis, and, holy bananas. We've got Extreme Fear. We've been cranking this for several days now. When the market tends to tip the boat to one side too much, and we could see this on down below 10, possibly. If this drops on down below 10, well, guess what? Get down here, and usually we'll go cranking back up here. And then we'll come back down. The market likes to hang out in between here. This is pretty normal. Up here or down here, that's tipping the boat. We tip the boat, we dump everybody out, and go the other way. That's the way it goes. So as the market has these extreme fear numbers, we don't typically stay there a long time. But we go look over here, and we're just churning at the bottom. Churning at the bottom. Frustrating the most number of traders that we possibly can. Right? I mean, that's kind of what the market does. So last night, after the close, this is where things get interesting. We just see, you look at the daily chart, you see a couple big candles. Look at this. I was talking about rewind 2 days back, not yesterday, but the day before. Somebody asked me where I thought we were going. I was like, well, I think we're going to get increased volatility. Hard to say that that's not increased volatility right there. Look at that. In 15 minutes, we went from basically flat for the day to back down here by the close. I mean, what the fudge is going on? What the heck? That, to me, is increased volatility. I don't know about you. Look at that. It was 105 points in like 15 minutes. Maybe 20. What the fudge is going on in the market? Craziness. Absolute craziness. Absolute crazy. I mean, that's increased volatility. All right. That's swings up, swings down. You can get stopped out. Be careful. This is not the environment to be screwing around. Now, yesterday, before we wrapped up, I identified the 1 minute roadmap line. We had to kind of pop over here, roll back. And we had the 5 minute. I deleted the 1 minute because we already busted through it. We had the 5 minutes, which was right. We got to zoom out a little bit. Right in there. We had the 15 minutes, which we didn't get through. We popped up, rejected it, and that's saw what happened yesterday. Into the close. Spicy overnight, kind of optimistic until about 5 this morning when the pre-market opened. Well, we opened at 4, I guess, Eastern time. And then we bled it right back down to those lows that we had yesterday before the close. So this rallied back up about 50 points overnight. 60 points. Go all the way to the high. 70 points. Almost took that drop back. 30 points. What's 30 points among friends? And then we're right back at the bottom this morning. This is the shenanigans that happen overnight. That's so 15-minute. This is the one to watch right now. I'm just going to delete these off. The example was you've got to beat the 1 minute to be able to beat the 5 minute, to be able to test and beat the 15-minute, to be able to test and beat the 30-minute, to be able to test and beat the 1 hour, to be able to beat the 4 hour. And the daily is already right where we are. We're in this orange blob right where the daily roadmap line is. And it's kind of where we're at. So all trading involves the substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument, which includes stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them, because all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. If you desire that personal financial advice, you want somebody just to tell me what to do to make money, well, that's not what I do. All right. Any guru that's doing that and doesn't have their certifications, they're actually breaking the law. And be careful out there following people. They're just telling you, you do this one thing and you can make tons of money. Yeah, that's bullshit. Bullshit. Shenanigans. Anyway, if you're not paying somebody to give you personal financial advice, and they're a financial advisor certified with all the certifications, you should be very, very, very careful. Make sure they're fiduciary if they're giving you advice based on your personal financial situation. It's not what I do, so I'm just kind of giving out some examples. You got to make the choice if it's right for you. If you don't know, you need to spend some time learning if it's right for you. Now, we have ISM PMI coming up today, right here, Wednesday. We had President Trump speaking last night. It seemed more like a campaign rally. I don't know if anybody watched it. And it was like a one-sided debate, I guess you might say. And Friday, we have the non-farm unemployment. We have Fed Chair Powell speaking down here at noon. Jobs report, unemployment rate. So it'd be interesting. Is the economy actually strong? Are we flushing this thing down the toilet? I got no real opinion. I think we're going to do a giant pullback. I don't think it has anything to do with who's president, who's in charge. I think everything was already set up and maxed out. We've got to do a correction to fix it. Like, everybody gets caught up in these narratives. Trump did this, Elon did that, blah, blah, blah. Government spending. The thing is, we got, over the last 30 years, we got government spending way out of whack. The fix is worse. I mean, it's like, what? Do you go bankrupt or do you fix it? Either one's going to hurt. Like, there's no easy fix. Like, we had the great times. Now we got to pay the piper. Like, that's just the way this works. And that's the economy. Stock market, kind of sort of loosely correlated with the economy. A lot of people think it's like this, but it's not. Stock market can do whatever it's doing, and the economy can be fine. The economy can be in flames, and the stock market can do all sorts of things. So, be careful. Prime example. We just roll back over here. Jump up. Anybody remember this right back here? Anybody remember this? Economy in absolute flames. We're shutting everything down. Everything stayed shut down for months. Yet the stock market rallied right back up. We're still feeling the effects of that shutting down everything. So, be careful. Be careful confusing correlation and causation. Just because the economy does whatever doesn't mean the stock market has to do anything. This, what we call the stock market, is emotional. That's why this thing is so important. That started out with. When we're extremely scared, lots of fear in the market, we sell crap. Sell it all. We'll figure it out later. Sell it all. We'll figure it out later. When we're extremely greedy, just buy. We don't give a crap, and then you're setting yourself up for loss. Hopefully, see, we've been at this extreme fear level for over a week now. A year ago, we were at extreme greed. A month ago, we were in fear. We've been just kind of chopping around all year, so. Can't shake this cough. Kimberly, my favorite subscriber, checking in the chat. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for all the channel members. Thank you for supporting me and my family. I do appreciate it. And I'm going to try to get another one of the top 50 videos out for you guys and gals that are channel members. Go through the top 50 by options volume. Give you my expectation. Checking in on this chart. We haven't really checked in for a little bit. Interest rates pulled back a little bit. Here's the Fed rate right up here. Pulling back. This is looking good. Checking in. Jerome Powell doing okay. Inflation hadn't really sparked up and caused inflation rates to spike. Now, another narrative going on. Let's ramp up tariffs, kind of freak everybody out a little bit. That causes people to flee from the stock market, go over to bonds, buy the crap out of bonds, push interest rates lower. See where I'm going with this? Push interest rates lower. Now, the government has like $7 trillion worth of debt they need to refinance. Don't really want to refinance it at 4%. If we could refinance it at something lower, maybe down here, 0.5, maybe 1%. I don't know that this plan is going to work. If we cause some sort of economic oopsie and we got to cut rates, that works, right? Think about it. Think about it. This is it's kind of high level scary stuff, I guess you might say. Cause some sort of economic meltdown, force the Fed to cut the rates, we can refinance that debt at a more affordable rate. Fits with the plan. Cutting the government spending. Interesting, right? I think it's interesting. They need these down. How do we get them down? Freak everybody out. Push them to bonds. Lots of people buying bonds. Push this down. This goes down. We can refinance that debt. Much lower rates. It's a big difference. Especially when you're doing $7 trillion worth of debt refinancing. That's a lot of money. Just in interest rates. Be careful out there. I'm not sure what's about to happen, but something's cooking. Something's cooking. Something's cooking. Am I freaked out? Like crash protection? Nah, not really. I think this is sufficiently played out for the moment. We may rally this right back up to the highs, but we opened up right back down at the lows. Same parameters in action here. Break down below this July high on S&P. We may flush it on down. Now there is support right down to 56. We could dip that it could be a fake out. So we got to watch out right here. If we can push it on down, that could be the target. Way down there. Now we have a 3-day in between. 3-day roadmap line coming up right around 5,300. Right there, right in here. Yep, right there. And then this is the weekly down here. And then guess what this is? We haven't been there in a while, but that's the monthly, right down in that zone. Whew. Staring down the correction. I mean, we missed right back here in 2020. So it's been 14 years since we hit the monthly. Roll back in the history. We don't go that long. I mean, that right there, 20 years, and we hit. So we could start down. Yeah, this one took 3 years to get down there. So it's not like a fast correction. All right, it's not like, oh my gosh, we're just going to drop out. This is going to be like a multi-year correction to get down there. Kind of sucks, right? We're not talking about flash crash. We're talking about a multi-year grind down potential. Could take 5 years. Could take 10 years. Ugh. That's not positive. That's not fun. Just big picture. Yes. Almost turning green today. It's a big red candle because we gapped up overnight and we took it right back. I thought we would take it back. We gapped up like 40 points on the restart. And if we look back over here. Nope. Not too far. The restart was, we closed right there. We restarted right there. And that's, gotta look at that 1 minute, I guess. We close at 5 p.m. and reopen. And there we go. Reopen at 6. There's that gap. Showed up a little, yeah. Yeah, one didn't show up as big on this one. My other one has a much bigger gap. Wait, where is it? That's not right. My other order feed has a much bigger gap on the reopen. This one didn't really do it. Interesting. Different data feeds. So look at that. The market closed right there, 4 o'clock, and then rallied up 60 points after the close. After a 100-point drop, in the 15 minutes prior to the close. So this is what, when I was warning about increased volatility, that's what I'm talking about. Lots of chop. Be careful. Now, things to watch, the lows from yesterday and the high from yesterday afternoon. This zone right here. That's the what to watch today. As long as we play in the middle, we can play in that 150-point range. Golly, crazy. 126-point range right there. NQ, I guess similar shenanigans, right? Big rip, big dip. As long as we hold it, it can be positive. It's a 618 retrace, holding above. We start pushing down below here, probably going lower. Start breaking out. Hit our head on that July high, resistance right above us. That's what that orange box is. Dun, 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 dun. See that July high right there? It's where we banged our head on and dropped. Got to get through it to go higher again. So the market's basically gone nowhere since July. If you feel frustrated, that's why. Dang. Nowhere for 15 months, or, I mean, not 15 months. For August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, 8 months. 8 months, nothing. 8 months of nothing. Big dips, big rips, 8 months of nothing. Now, we can go all the way down to the August low. That would suck, but we could. We could. Be careful out there. We made this drop in a short period of time back in August from right where we're at, right down here. Is it possible to do it again? Yeah, you betcha. We could do that. Could do it again. Deja vu. Russell, potentially down to the level where I thought we might find supports. Not turning around yet. We'll have to see. Could extend it on down all the way down to 2000 area. Maybe even 1992 on Russell. We're going to get any kind of continuation. So, but this is near the bottom, I would think, before we get a bigger rally. So this has been kind of a grind down. I think we're due a corrective rally if we're going to get continuation lower. Something to keep an eye on. Oil pushing down, getting below the low. This is setting the path. Now, there is a little bit of support right here at 64, but setting up the move. There's that drill, baby, drill. Talked about last night. That's bearish for oil prices. Think about it. Think about it. Bearish for oil prices. What does that do to energy stocks? Is it higher demand and we make more profit? Or lower oil prices push everything down? There comes a point. There comes a point where it costs more to drill than you can get for the barrel of oil. Some of you know what that price is. We're getting close to it where oil's a net loser. That's not good for profits for anybody in the oil industry. And then we're already pricing out shale right now. So starts being a problem. Starts being a problem. GC still sitting at that retrace level. This is gold. Why do I look at the futures? Because futures trade almost 24/7. It's 23 hours a day, 6 days a week. We get price action on futures. So I kind of watch them for more data. I don't like the cash indexes that have gaps. That's missing data when you have gaps in price. This right here, initial move down. This is a retrace to that 618 level. We're holding for 2 days now. If this starts back down, likely coming in here and possibly going to extend it right down in there. And these are big numbers. Big numbers here. That's a 300 point potential on gold. $300. Whew. Big potential drop. We did it on ES. We did it on NQ. We did it on Bitcoin. Can we do it on gold? Better be careful. Believe in the bullish narrative. Everybody's hyping gold. Big retrace would humble a lot of people. Even bigger retrace would humble even more people. What does the market tend to do? When everybody's tipping the boat one side, when everybody's super bullish gold, we rip gold. Just throwing that out there. Just throwing it out there. Bitcoin. I like it. Potentially holding that retrace. We made the initial move up. We made the retrace. Held. This is very nice price action so far. If we can get back above the intermediate 618, which we're going to have to jump down. Let's just go to the spot market where it's a little more clear. And we can get a little better handle on what's going on. We've moved up right there. Move up off the lows. Retrace. Held that 618, 786 level. Breaking back above. Got to run that high. Down to that low. Right at the 618. So as we come into the open here today, we've been hanging out here for like the last 6 hours. If we can get above, we're going right up in here. And then potentially extending it on to higher levels. So this is a key level to watch right around this 90,000. We start breaking above 92. It's probably game on for going higher. And by higher, I don't just mean 97.99. we start zooming out, I'm talking about potentially 100, 105, 113. These levels up here. If we're going to be bullish, we're going to rip like this, probably retrace, and then go on for those bigger targets up there. So this is a key point here. This can lead the stock market by upwards of 2 weeks. Like this can start ripping, breaking out, and then the stock market follow along. Dun, 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 dun. Ethereum, that's just a sales thing, SJ. Sales. You're welcome to come this afternoon. Ethereum, still bearish. Still looking nasty. Still down near the lows. Not sure I expect this to do much of anything. Got resistance way up here. The downtrend of highs is now down below the roadmap line, so this is it's looking pretty much bearish. Potential for reversal, but not showing any signs of life yet. This little spike resulted in a lower low. That's not reversal material. We're pushing the limits here. Not great on Ethereum. Doesn't matter. Spot market, futures market, doesn't matter. They're both kind of the same. This one's got me concerned. We're out of the bottom of the box. We need to reverse this. We need to be cruising up higher, not messing around out of the bottom of the box where we could drop down to a lower low potentially. This is global liquidity. And if global liquidity starts flushing, guess what? U.S. market's going with it. We're not immune. Dollar, haha, look at this. Firmly below. We're coming on down. Back to the bottom. Couldn't even make it. Like, when we didn't even make it up there, I was like, probably busting through. Probably busting through. So this is going to flush on down. If you're a Forex trader, see, dollar yen coming on down. Look for that support right there. Dollar CAD. That one might retrace too. Euro dollar. Look at that. That was the one that's ripping. That's why where DXY is plummeting. Coming up in that 618. May see the dollar slow down a little bit. Unless we just push right on through there. This may be cruising on up here. Bet y'all didn't know I know all the Forex tickers, did you? That one also coming up pretty strongly. Resistance in this area. If we get through, potentially coming on up there. But if these turn down, so key area to watch right there. If that dollar is going to get continuation, which it looks like it is. Now the other thing to watch, run the low, run the high. We are coming in that 618, so it may bounce here. That's right where that blue line is. Funny enough. If we get below it, probably coming on down, but we might bounce back up. It's always the potential we bounce back up. So coming into that support zone right there. And we'll see what happens. We slice through it like a knife. We might see this come on down. Back to lows. We get through those. My ultimate target down in the mid to low 90s. All right, I go pull everything moving $2 more up. Put it on the gainers list. $2 more down, put it on the decliners list, and we go through it. So ASML, despite all the TSM talk, this is still not breaking out. This still needs a flush down here to the lower 600s. Still expect that. Nothing's changed on the technical pattern for ASML, despite the pop today on good news. We're going to buy chip fabs and build TSM factories in the United States, whatever. Huntington Hill, Ingalls Industry. That's a bearish chart. Nothing looks good there. Downside target still down here. Intuit. Choppy. Like, this is... So far, the first three tickers kind of summarize what I think the list is going to look like today. A bunch of choppy crap. So, Toyota... It's got a downtrend of highs going right there in the short term. It's got a big downtrend going and working on this little watermelon seed squeeze crap. Potential to break down, make a lower low before this all is very overlapping and choppy. This was a three-wave up into that high. These are lower highs. They can easily extend down, make a low lower than that low right there. Anything down in that zone can wrap this correction up and we can get out of here for Toyota. But right now, still downward pressure based on the chart there. My 5-minute strategy kicking off on gold. And SAP just grinding at the high. This needs a retrace. How long? I don't know. I don't know before we do it. Diego, potential to have finally bottomed? I don't know. Not doing the things I need to see to confirm it yet. Got to get above the roadmap line. This has looked pretty freaking bad for a long, long time. We finally got down past the, I was a little conservative on my downside target there. I was like, when we did this bounce over here back in September, I was like, we set up this downside target. We hit it right there in February, pushed below it here late February. Now we're coming up into it again. That roadmap line coming down is the resistance, but this has got a lot of downside stuff we got to work back through. I mean, look at that. That's pretty rough. I kind of expect it to make a lower low before we're done at this point. We've come so far down. Would not surprise me to rally back up to the roadmap line and turn down for another correction. So I wouldn't chase that with your money at this point. PTIR is PLTR's leveraged chart. And as I keep saying and have been saying, I expect this to come right down here. Been saying that for a while. It was right back over here in August, last time we did it. Yeah, be careful, especially if you're in leveraged PLTR. GD, that's kind of the path I might do a 618 retrace and get a further decline. GE Veranova at the roadmap line. Can we bounce? There's the resistance up at 381. NVO. Lily's taken off, but this one's still messing around down here at the lows. We've got the roadmap line up here. We've got that giant gap. Gap down resistance. We're just coming up into the bottom of the gap. It's going to take some work. Got to get up through it. Then through the 618. That's like layers of resistance here. Layers and layers of resistance. If we can get through all that stuff, then we could be looking for upside up around 160. I don't know. Doesn't look super strong. Whereas Lily over here, above all the resistance, filled the gap. Upside target up there. About 1020, 1016. MSTR, holding that roadmap line really, really well. I'm long MSTR. I'm long MSTX, which is the leveraged 2x leverage on MSTR. I'm long. There's a lot of order flow. Looking for this to be bullish. I might lose money. Be careful on leverage. MSTR holding the roadmap line really, really well. Downside support potential still right down in here. And if we take it off the log mode, it still could be down around 160. Log mode seems to look a little better right now. This could shoot this right up to the target area. Resistance right there. Those prior highs. At the 618, break above. We could shoot it right up here to the target zone. 1,000. Anywhere 700 to 1,000. If we're unlucky, we'll stop at like 600. SCCO. My gosh, that looks like a nasty chart. That's about to take a plummet. I don't care. It's popping a little bit today. What is it with all the splits in here? Weird. Little fractional adjustments. That's weird. Weird way to manage your share price. So that potentially has a little bit more downside to go off this big correction. First drop down, retrace, next drop down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Looks like now we could be done, but until we start breaking above the roadmap line and back above the 618, there's still potential to extend down here. Still potential, so watch out for that. And then resistance on the upside coming in right in that zone right there. Baba. Yeah. Upside target right around 178 to 200. If we can push it on up. FUTU. Man, what a hot mess of chart at this point. Let's clean this baby up. So we had this big pullback right to the roadmap line. We popped up, failed to break out, retraced, held the 618. That is a strong point because this was resistance going higher right there. And look at that. It's almost a head and shoulders upside down. Right? So what happens on a head and shoulders? Potential for that to come all the way up into the 1272. Ha! Imagine that. In case you don't see it, shoulder, head, shoulder, like that. The head to the neckline. It's just a Elliott wave reversal. That's all that is. This would not be the 618 I would draw and expect it to hold. The reason this is holding is because it was prior resistance going higher. It was, resistance on the way down, little spike resistance in there, little spike resistance there. So that's resistance, turn support, retrace to support, and now we push it out and potentially could go on up to 181. Coin. Golly, man. Can't shake that cough. Still grinding at the supports. Resistance right up above us. We get above that. Then we have this resistance from the prior highs and the 618. Get above that. Be looking at 380, possibly even the bigger extension up to 600. CMRX. Watch out for the retrace. APDV. Resistance. Watch out for a retrace. GSM. Got to get back above the roadmap line, back above that resistance to go higher. Otherwise, we break down below these lows. We could extend it down here, 137. Not super bullish on them spending a bunch of money building a factory at this point. PDD. Back to the roadmap line. If we can hold, sets up a smaller target, 137, 140. Inside the bigger trade, potentially up to 180. ARC B. Bitcoin ARC, that supports that we potentially finished the Bitcoin correction. Popping back above the 618 there, 97, could take us up to 112, 116, 128. JDS, potential to drop back down here to the roadmap line. Yen. And hanging out right here. This is a leverage chart. And China. Like, that's two things that don't always follow patterns combined together in one lovely package. If this breaks higher, could run right up there. 68 target. BitX grinding under the roadmap line. If and when we break back higher, there's the resistance right up here. So we've got this big resistance zone we got to get through. Take BitX back above that. Be running right up in there. Possibly 80, possibly even up to 110, 120, 150 maybe. GM grinding under the roadmap line. Not extremely bullish at the moment. That may push right back down here. Careful. If we turn back higher, break back above the 55 area, we can go on up to 76. But right now, so here's there's that resistance. It has nothing to do with that 76. What that 76 has to do with is the potential for this to go down further. So if we start breaking down below this, watch out for that. Get above that, go up here. SGM, big downside risk for a smaller potential upside. AVGO back down in the roadmap line. I kind of expect these prior highs to hold here. I expect it to hold and go higher. It's a real good spot right there. So those of you holding AVGO, selling calls against it, be really careful. I'm not sure I would cap the top right now. This can go popping right out here. Possibly even up here. CVNY. Carvana. Yield max stuff is highly dangerous. And I think that if you're going to do this stuff, do it on your own. Like, I wouldn't hold yield max Carvana. I just danger. 2x leverage on Bitcoin. This one also could be done. Has a nice potential to be done. Break back about that 618. Take it on up. 77, 84, possibly even 108. BitU. I hold some of this one. I hold BitX. I hold this one. Also, spread the love. Why not just go in one? Hey, different people manage. Like, this is ProShares. Had really good luck with ProShares. This one's T-Rex. I hold some T-Rex stuff, but T-Rex is not always reliable. All right. There's different companies that manage these ETFs. And then BitX over here is volatility shares. I like BitX because it has a longer history. It's been around longer. But volatility shares, that's why I spread the love around. That's why I have some BitU and BitX. All right. ProShares been pretty reliable. The management team at ProShares does pretty good. So if you're trying to pick your favorite Bitcoin leveraged ETF, it's not just about price. It's about who manages it. Go read the prospectus if you're not sure. If you have no clue, you should definitely read about these. Some of them have habits of liquidating. Go read about Volmageddon. Van Eck here on semiconductor ETF is down below the uptrend of lows. Be careful. This can flush on down. NVIDIA can be the leading cause of losing a bunch of money on semiconductors. Boyle, Sitting out here, natural gas should be coming out. Sitting just below the targets. I'd like to see that spike on up in that 465, 488 target there in the coming days, and then get a retrace. This probably going to retrace. Well, this one probably going to retrace on Zelensky playing Let's Make a Deal. If they make a deal, that means Russian gas starts flowing to Europe again. LNG not really is in demand, and this may go on a bigger, deeper retrace. It's just a fundamental story that supports the geopolitical events, and the chart might be set up for a deeper retrace here down into this zone like that. Baidu. I was on LNG. I need to add something here. If we get below that level in there, right where that bottom spike is, I think probably gonna do that. Baidu still. Now this could be a measured bounce. So if we start breaking back above this 92 area, we could see a big upward move on Baidu back to near these highs. Right there. See these highs over here? It's been highs for a long time. Probably be a significant resistance right around that 115 level on Baidu. Not sure we can get to 117. I mean, may chop around a little bit and spike it. But we'll see. FBTC, another Bitcoin ETF, another potential bottom in place. 99, 100, 113 on the upside. CWeb. Potential for this to go on up. I am long CWeb with shares, looking for 66. SOXX. Potential for this to go down to 72 down here. It's a semiconductor ETF run by iShares, which is BlackRock. And that looks pretty bad. mRNA. Big picture. Resistance is at the roadmap line, and downside is further down at below 20. GBTC. This is Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust. The OG Bitcoin hold. Break back above this. Could go up to 89.90 on the upside. ANET. Messing around down here at potential supports. If we can hold that, potential to go up to like, let's pull this on down to below. Potential to come on up to 143. If we get below this prior consolidation here, we may extend this on down to this consolidation down in the 65 area. So SE just keeps grinding highs, baby. So we're getting close to breaking back above the 618 zone. We have this resistance zone right here between these two highs. If we get up through it, could take this up to 525, which would be an absolute insane number for C Limited. Haven't seen that since, gosh, 21. That was a big retrace. I mean, look at that. 371 down to 34. That's like 90%. Now we're coming right back up. I wouldn't have bet on that. VRNA, pharmaceutical, just ripping. And 98 next upside. No pullbacks, just one solid move. Hard to project. The last big consolidation sets us up for that rip, but be careful. That can just retrace again all of a sudden. CRH, back to the roadmap line after making the high. Got that high, got that low. Break back above the 100 area. 113, 116 on the upside would be the targets. Right in there. Set your alert right in there above those highs. 104, get above it. 113 on the upside. DB, Deutsche Bank, Deutsche, however you say it. Where my weekly chart at? Does that look like a banging opportunity? That's a three-wave retrace right there. coming up into resistance between 23 and 30. 1, 2, 3. Be careful. That can easily turn down and go lower. BobX. Dun, 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 dun. 2x leverage on Baba, probably going higher. With Baba, probably going higher. ARM, dipping in here. Watch for this to come back down to this support zone down here. RTX, potential to come back to the roadmap line after hitting the targets. Played out. So decliners, there wasn't a ton of these. We'll hit some of these real quickly. And AVAV, wow. Yeah, that kind of crushed it down. Let's see. Looking for support. Oh, we're getting close to a measured bounce. Potential right down in here where that prior consolidation was. Perfect. If we dip just a little bit more, I mean, that could be a measured bounce right there. That could be the bottom. Break back above the daily roadmap line. Could take it on up in this 500 area right up in here. Gonna have to watch for that to break back above that and those highs right there. If you were super aggressive, you could do it. I would stop out on a move down below 95, which is a pretty, it's $40 risk for, what, $300 potential upside. Not bad. It's not quite a 10 to 1. CRWD down to the roadmap line. Cha-ching. Did it. This looks like it wants to go just a little lower though. I would be careful. It may dip on down another $30. Why? Because it pulls that 618 line right into that consolidation and then sets the upside target at 483. Abercrombie and Fitch. Oh, guess what? Guess who said we probably do one lower? Watch for that to drop on down to 60. That was a giant head and shoulders. We broke down. 60 area is the bottom. T-Mobile wouldn't surprise me after hitting the 1618 to retrace back down to 225 area. Right down in here. Won't surprise me one bit. CR 2x leverage on CrowdStrike. CRWD. Yeah, back to the roadmap line. And like I said, we just went through that. CRDO. Potential to bottom right there. I drew the target. We're right there at it. Potential to reverse. That was the target for the downside. So break back above this level and looking for 96.104 on the upside. TBBK potential. Well, that one played out before. Here's the high. Here's the low. Resistance right there. And 68 on the upside. RMD. Watch out. That may go lower. ResMed. People don't need those CPAP machines. This may come down again. Yang plummeting out as yen goes higher. NTNX target. Watch for a retrace back to the roadmap line. HIMS target is still down here at the roadmap line. It's recovering a little bit. Was down $2 more. Now it's not. CBP or CPB, however you say it, whatever the letters are. CPB. Just chopping in this potential support zone. Resistance at 42. Support down here at the lows. That's the lowest low. I don't know. That can easily make another low. That's potential 1, 2, 3, 4. Held below that. And 5. Would not surprise me to get one more lower low. Lower than that. So somewhere below 37. We do that. That's probably done. I mean, it might be done. I don't know. I can't. That's a big. That's gone nowhere for years and years. I mean, the problem started before COVID, so this is not. COVID didn't fix anything for Campbell's. That was a correction up. Yeah, this is. So that may not be the bottom. Let's revise after zooming out. Sometimes you got to zoom out. Trash that. Oh my goodness. This looks nasty. The more I look, the worse this gets. Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3. That's a corrective hot mess. First move down. Corrective mess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're probably going below this low back here for the last 30 years. It's like a 30-year, 40. God, what is this? 30-year correction. So Campbell's is probably going lower. Might take to the late 2030s to do it. Probably have some bounces and swings. I mean, the more I zoom out, the worse the chart gets. I mean, it's the truth. Whew. Yeah, so long term, Campbell's probably going below here. That'd be my expectation. CCEP, Coca-Cola Euro-Pacific Park. Think about it. That's like Coca-Cola, the way I read this, Coca-Cola in the rest of the world. Euro-Pacific. Probably going to retrace. Now, Coca-Cola's been ripping, so I may keep going. ETHD, ultra short Ethereum. This might be nearing the end if Ethereum can turn its crap around. If Ethereum keeps going down, this will pop and go to new highs. If not, this is going back down here if Ethereum starts turning. So, I'm not sure I'd play that one. Don't have a bonus trade because there was there was one on the Skinner and it was a piece of garbage, so not even worth talking about. I'll be back again tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Expectation for the day. Kind of got some chop. There's potential that we made a bottom. It's one of those be careful right here. We did a measured bounce here. If we break back above that 15-minute, right now the 15-minute has been the one that's holding strongly. We get above that 15-minute, it's probably your indication we're going to get something a little bigger on the bounce side. Then we'll have to see if we can stick it on the 30-minute, the 1 hour, the 4 hour. That's what it's looking like. Now, if we break down below her, I've already identified downside areas to watch out for. That July high is the big one right now. If we get below that, we're probably in for a bigger correction. And it's going to be more protracted. So that's down around 56.50. July high. So we get below the low from yesterday. July high comes in play. We can start breaking higher than yesterday. Watch that 15-minute roadmap line. 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. We start getting above all those. It's going to new highs. Probably not up to 6,300. That's it.